As always, good people, welcome to the Bruce Leroy Bar for episode 26 to be exact. And we had the homies in the building, Outside.ND as well.
Yes.
Ava. They're here as well as Notre Dame students, just doing cool stuff when it comes down to the scene, what cool place to eat, what events might be popping on the weekend, stuff like that. So it's a pleasure to have you here. You guys here, and definitely appreciate you coming to the bar for it.
I'm excited to be here.
For sure. As always, we start off, how you got the name of, how you started Outside.ND and kind of like a backstory of what led up to what's now.
Yeah, so January of 2020 this year, I'm not sure what time this is going to be coming out, but
it's sometime in the future. Near future.
So January 2022, I joined a run club through Fleet, Mishawaka.
Explain that, because I'm not familiar with what that is.
So it's like a run, like it's a shoe store, like running shoe store.
Okay.
But they have different like run clubs, so you could train for a 5K, you could train for a 10K, half marathon. And I would, going into the new year, I was like, I don't want to go out. Like I want to, work on my health, start something new, work towards, a goal other than, party on the weekends or whatever,
Right.
Maybe don't include that.
We can edit whatever. For sure.
But yeah, I joined this run club through Fleet, Mishawaka. Okay. And every Tuesday and Saturday I started running around South Bend.
Nice.
And I was like, with a bunch of people from South Bend, professors, just local, residents, whatnot. And running around South Bend, I was just like kind of taking it all in because it's the first time I got off campus.
Okay.
Besides, going to the same 3 places every weekend, whatnot. And after the run club, seeing the nature of, South Bend and the trails, I would go to like the farmer's market and the, different eateries like Dainty Maid's. Well, at the time, Dainty Maid had the breakfast early bird eatery at the time. Yeah, so
sure.
I would try different brunch places, coffee shops, Sway, Cloud Walking, Kodachrome now, the General, right? So seeing all these new places because like seeing South Bend and like talking to people, getting recs, gave me an excuse to kind of explore more.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of, my first interactions with South Bend as, as someone new in South Bend, right?
Right.
And, I would go back to campus and talk to like my roommates at the time, not my roommates now. Right. I don't want to like throw shade at anyone, but I think when I would share my excitement of all these new places I'm seeing, I would often like get met with kind of like apathy or kind of like, you went where? Like that's
real monotone, like not excited.
Not excited. Yeah. And like I think I'm a person that gets excited about things, about new things, new people.
Right.
And I think there's just a stigma on campus that does not like South Bend. Or if they don't like it, they just like are indifferent, right?
For sure.
So I started with a friend or with one of my friends who would sometimes run with me from school. I pitched her. I was like, maybe I should start an Instagram page, showing all these cool places I'm seeing that I know like my peers at school probably don't know of, right?
Sure.
And like sharing it, and instead of South Bend is like whatever, I don't really care. Maybe these posts would kind of make them like feel excited about South Bend or like want to try a new place. Something
outside of Notre Dame.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's kind of how it got started. I can't take credit for the name. So
shout out to whoever's involved, for sure, yeah.
So we have this kind of like internal system on campus called Inside.ND.
Okay. Okay.
So
It's coming to
yeah,
fruition now. It's
so,
making sense now.
yeah. So I think the first Instagram handle when we had like 2 followers, it was like Explore South Bend.
Oh man.
But then my friend Mary Musselman, who's going to be taking over when I leave to study abroad,
Okay.
she was like, "How about Outside.ND, a play on Inside.ND?"
Classic.
And I think it just really stuck, and
Yeah.
it's grown into something,
Oh
so
yeah, for
beautiful.
sure. Yeah, that's always dope to see because it's like I said, we always get this like comparison. It's always like, and of course, there's a Notre Dame, Indiana. But
Yeah,
there's also South Bend, Indiana.
yeah,
So with that being said, to have places not only in the Indy area that are dope, there's places in South Bend that are
yeah.
like kind of like hidden gems, kind of
Oh,
like
for sure.
mom and pop places where you might just be driving past one day and just be like, oh, what is that? And just keep going. But
Mm-hmm.
if you knew about it, it's like, okay, I'm gonna go in there, and it's like probably the greatest, whatever category they are,
Yeah,
So
for
it's cool.
sure.
It's cool to see you started like a running thing, and it just came to like you might have like run or walked past the place, and been like,
Yeah,
oh, let me go in here and see what
no,
this is about. So
definitely.
that's pretty cool. That's cool to see. I know lately you guys have been like doing going to a lot of events. You mentioned
Mm-hmm.
Heat Check with Meech Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Meech, man. That's like
Shout out to Meech. Like,
it's such a vibe. Like I haven't been yet, like
yeah,
there yet, but I've seen like the events he throws, the passion he puts into it. Like, what
yeah.
are the vibes like in the area when it's like art, music, this, that, and the other, and kind of like, how do you think that kind of like brings the city together?
I think I started Outside.ND to kind of like just show places,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it really morphed into engaging and building connections. So
Mm-hmm.
like, I think it started more as like a travel guide for Notre Dame students to make it more accessible, but it really, morphed into, hey, like we could build bridges, we could build connections. There's artists in South Bend, there's artists at Notre Dame.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's bring them together and like let's build off of each other and build off of each other's creativities in a bunch of different ways, like
For sure.
business, like art, like all these different
Music,
things.
yeah,
Yeah,
whatever the case may be, just have places to go to where you can like express all of that.
exactly.
So
And I
that's
think
cool.
Meech really drove that for Outside.ND because he reached out, he saw kind of like this vision
Yep.
that I was, you know, kind of morphing naturally, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
just exploring whatever, starting to go to new events and meeting new people. And he saw kind of the start of that, and he
Nice.
really was like, I love what you're doing. I think it's a great thing.
Cool.
I think we could do something together and make it happen. And what he did was make it happen.
Yep. And you guys are at is it the Lang Lab?
We were at the Lang Lab for
Okay.
our first event. It was called Outside AF.
I saw that and I was like, I love the play on like the
Yeah.
title is always like it's like genuine and it's like
Yeah.
different than anything anybody does. So
Yeah.
shout out to that, man, for sure.
But yeah, Meech reached out. He's like, I really like what you're doing. I love the vision. This could be an event. Like this could be a community. Really, I think.
Great word to put. Yeah.
Yeah, and we partnered with heatcheck, Meech, and he really like did a lot to organize this for the space. And
That's so cool.
I brought in some South Bend or Notre Dame artists that I knew of, and yeah, it came together really well. I think we had around 150 people, maybe a little less than that, but that was like it was
But
really
still,
just a proof of concept, right?
just to network and like put it out there from not only from your guys' perspective and put it out there from outside ND, but have Meech do it, and it's just like
These two,
two different. It might be a lot of the same, but it might be two different, type of people in this group, and everybody came together and had a great time.
Yeah,
So,
just like pulling
that's
from
dope.
a bunch of different places
Yeah.
into one space. And honestly, it was just like a really great event. I think people met each other, having great conversation. And
Yeah.
I think it made me realize there's not a lot of third spaces off of Notre Dame's campus where those like,
Sure.
those discussions and conversations about like, I don't know, like meaningful, cool things can happen, right? Because like, it is very much on Notre Dame's campus, like, you have your friend group, like you
sure.
stick with your people, maybe you run into new friends throughout your time at Notre Dame,
Mm-hmm.
but like how could we create a space where that, you know, could foster and like people could go to, and I think that you know, Outside.ND or Outside AF event really was a beautiful proof of concept of, you know, there is a demand for those spaces.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
what we're doing and what Meech is helping us do and whatnot.
It's a great thing.
Yeah.
For sure. It's one of those things where like you go to something like that just off, you know, just off the strength of somebody, you know, posting it, or somebody, or even not being able to go to some event like that, but just going and then being like, at the end of it, being like, I appreciate it. I'm glad I came to something like this. You know what I'm saying? So
and
it's cool.
We got a lot of appreciation.
There
They
you
were
go.
like,
See?
we had a senior come up to one of my roommates who, you know, invited her friend, one of her senior friends, right? She came up to her and was like, that was the best like event I've been to in all 4 years.
And that's what you do it for, you know, to have people like remember stuff like that. It's like, you know, down the line, it'll be like, and you remember that heat check outside, you know, outside AF event.
And we had Essence 121 as well.
Shout out to them. Cool.
So shout out to them. They brought a great crowd, and I think it's just, you know, bringing people together and people who might be similar but just can't find each other.
There you go.
So
you're bridging that gap between Notre Dame and South Bend.
Yeah.
That's the goal for sure.
That's the goal.
Yeah, because you know, a lot of people. I've lived here my whole life, so knowing, like, saying that much, I know how it is in South Bend, and I know how Notre Dame is.
Yeah.
So it's like, I love the city, and I love in the last year and a half, what's been going on with the community.
Yeah.
Shout out to Homegrown Hype. They really kind of
South Bend don't break.
shout out. Come on, you know.
I know.
So it's like the community. You have a certain community in the area where they go hard for each other, and just as hard for themselves. So it's like you have that mindset from everyone.
Yeah.
Not just one person. Everyone in the community, and they're building something, and that's going to last forever. So
Yeah.
yeah. With that being said, I know you mentioned earlier, so you're not from South Bend?
No, I'm actually from San Diego, California.
Shout out to Cali. That's dope. So how was the transition from California? Was it grade school, middle school, high school, and then you came to college here?
Yeah,
okay.
Born and raised San Diego.
Nice.
Kind of a rural town. Very much, I sometimes relate South Bend and where I grew up.
Okay.
Just because like there was a bunch of different communities and people that exist in the same space, and it was just like here you have the same kind of just bunch of different spaces that come together and call this place their home, right?
Absolutely.
So honestly, like coming to South Bend, Notre Dame, right? It was cold. For sure. Big difference. Kayla's from Alabama, so.
Okay. Shout out to Alabama as well, yeah. My stepdad is a big Alabama fan. Absolutely, diehard.
Yeah, so it was a bit cold, but, you know, you can't find, you can't find a South Bend in California, you know? Never.
That's dope.
I think maybe the communities feel sometimes similar, but like you can't find South Bend in California.
Hey,
you don't like the mom and pops, the creative spaces feel more genuine here, not as performative. I think, like, if I could settle somewhere, like, South Bend is a contender if it wasn't for the weather.
So let's just say get through those 3 months.
Yeah.
Spring, we'll just skip winter. Spring, summer, fall.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So, yeah, it's not that bad. If you can control the weather, if you can tolerate the weather.
Yeah, it's not
too
that bad.
It's not bad.
Oh, we're getting used to it.
There we go.
As the years goes
You've
by.
had 3 years here, right?
2 winters.
2 winters.
3 years.
Got it. Cool. You also mentioned like just random spots around South Bend, Notre Dame area, and you also mentioned a travel guide where you do different food places, places to see, different locations. What are your top 5 so far?
Okay, I think easy 2 would be, or easy 3 I would say, is like Dainty Maid Food Hall. I went there in May,
Shout
like
out to that.
May or June when it first opened. I was visiting Notre Dame because I was in Chicago this summer.
Okay.
And I was like, I have to come back to South Bend for a weekend. So tried that. That was like, what amazing concepts, like what Alan and all of them are doing there. Just like so cool.
Yeah.
So that's, I can't, this is not an order.
No, it doesn't have to be. Just,
But
just a top five, absolutely.
Yeah, so Dainty made Rose Lily, just blown away by.
Never been there, but I've heard amazing things about it for sure.
You got to. I think once I discovered that.
You second that? You second it? Okay,
for sure. I don't think Cameron's been there. But just like I don't know. It's just kind of a hole in the wall, and I think just putting a little Notre Dame perspective, like. When we think of South Bend food scene, like before I started getting into like the Outside.ND type things, we saw this LaSalle Kitchen or LaSalle Grill. LaSalle Grill. Man. And Cafe Navarre.
There you go.
And that's the only two places I think were like considered top quality like food places in South Bend. And like, yes, they're good, but like. I don't want to shit on any places.
Hey, it's but if it's not as good as you thought it would be, just say
it's
that.
It's just like it's good. It's good. It's not bad. It's just like not worth the price.
Okay.
And it's like not worth the hype that it gets from like Notre Dame crowd. I don't know, Cam, if you wanna.
No shade, bro. No shade. It's just it's preference.
No shade. Yeah. It's just preference, and I think just like if you want a quality meal. For a good price, like Rose Lily comes to mind, Dainty May comes to mind.
Go.
I really like Early Bird.
I think it's just the idea that there are other places out there that people aren't willing to step into.
For sure. Yeah. And Render, I was really impressed by my meal there. They have like these chicken bows. I don't know what. It was so good.
So good. Yeah. Hey, it made you feel like you could go again.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Definitely.
And Fiddler's Hearth, I think I was just really surprised by the atmosphere and the quality meal that I had there. So I think for me, like my top 5 changes, but too consistent.
Dainty
Made, Rose Lily, for sure.
Shout out to them. That's dope. That's dope.
Always giving me a good meal.
There you go. It's always about the consistency. It's like if the price is up there and the meal is good, it's like I don't even think about the price.
No, exactly.
Something I can go to again where I'm like, even if I'm out of town, you know what I'm saying? I'm going back to South Bend and I think of the first spot.
Yeah.
I'm going right back there. So.
And in Goshen, Venturi Pizza. Have you ever been there?
Never. But
so good.
It might be this weekend. It might be this weekend for sure.
So we get outside of South Bend sometimes as well. So
that's dope. When it comes to events, what's a go-to song you like to get like vibe out to, or a go-to artist?
Isaiah Rashad, I think. That's like one of my top.
For sure.
Yeah, like West Savannah. I could just like name so many like songs from Isaiah Rashad that I just can't say for other artists.
But we going with Isaiah
Rashad. Like
that's dope.
So Isaiah Rashad's up there.
What about like a South Bend local artist?
For South Bend?
Yeah, let's do that too.
Yo, like Ken
16.
When I went to Kenville, I was blown away. And that's where I met Meech too.
Yep.
So it was just like a beautiful moment for those two things.
That's dope for sure. We like to do rapid fire questions over here, so it can be random shit. You know what I'm saying? So we'll go with the first one. Would you rather always be stuck in traffic but find a perfect parking spot, or never hit traffic but always have to find a parking spot?
I'd rather have a good parking spot for sure.
So be stuck in traffic?
Yeah, because you can listen to music. You can listen to Ken, Jesus. Once I went to Yart, saw Jesus. That was such a
goat.
Who was the kid that he brought on? Like that was iconic.
Can you remember like who you're talking about?
Yeah,
who he brought on?
Yeah, it was like this kid.
I'm trying to think of the event, to be honest.
At Yart.
It was Yart.
Yeah. He brought on, anyways.
Yeah, but shout out to him too.
Shout out to him too. Like, you could just sit in traffic listening to good music. Like, I have no problem with that. If I could get a good parking spot. Yeah.
My next one, that's leading into my next one. So you're on the road 4 hours. Can only listen to 3 albums.
3 albums?
4 hours. She had to pull the phone out.
Okay. Let's see.
What's like most recent listen to type thing? Like,
I was really into The House is Burning by Isaiah Rashad. That album is like probably the only album I've listened to through and through like so many times.
Okay, for sure. House is Burning.
I would honestly, let's see.
It's hard. I try to ask cool questions, but it's like sometimes it's like you gotta think. You gotta think about it.
Bad Bunny, like
for sure.
Un verano sin ti. Don't judge my Spanish. I'm going to Spain next semester.
There we go.
So I'll become fluent then.
Okay. Isaiah Rashad, Bad Bunny for sure.
Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Like, Surf Curse. Have you ever heard of Surf Curse?
Not till now.
Okay, so they're like a small indie rock or pop band.
I like that type of stuff too.
Yeah,
Like,
that's like
little gems for sure.
I would say like stuff like Isaiah Rashad, and then like indie rock is like kind of my two like main sources of music. That's solely 3 albums, but three artists.
That's
but,
cool though. Yeah, there's a couple I've heard and one I haven't. So yeah, I'm definitely checking it out. Okay, only be able to listen to one song for the rest of your life. Only be able to listen or watch one movie for the rest of your life.
One song.
One song?
Yeah, okay. I mean, I feel like when I like a song, it's on repeat anyways, so.
Okay. Would you rather be able to go back to kindergarten with everything you know now, or know everything your future self would know in the present?
Oh, what I know now, for sure.
So go back to kindergarten with what you know now, as opposed to the future and know your future?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. Okay.
Because I feel like I've learned so much and I've made a lot of mistakes. So like.
But if you know like the way you explained, if you know in the past, you don't have to make those mistakes in the future.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say $1 million right now, $5,000 a week for the rest of life.
$5,000 a week for sure.
Rest of life? Okay.
I don't need $1 million like
right now.
Like I have school, like I have a job set up, so like I could deal with a little stimmy for sure.
There we go. 5,000 a week. That's not bad.
That's
not
right.
a bad deal. That's clutch for sure. So Outside.ND started January of this year.
Yeah.
Moving forward. Well, right now and moving forward, Outside.ND, what is anything that's going on with you guys?
So, I think, our partnership with Meech and heatcheck has been, such a proof of concepts we did together, right? So that was awesome. So I think just moving forward, really kind of expanding this maybe to Notre Dame students and people more broadly, this vision we have, and having more events and creating more community spaces where those connections could be fostered between South Bend and Notre Dame. So yeah, next semester, hopefully we could get some things going. And I'm just we're just juniors, so we have another year, and honestly, South Bend might be an option after graduation too. I know.
I like to hear that.
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear, because and not to cut you off, but you mentioned earlier, It's just a Notre Dame thing. It's not a South Bend thing. It's more okay, I might go to college here, but who knows if I'll come back.
Yeah.
For you to have that idea that you would think about coming back to South Bend after college, that says a lot for sure. So.
Yeah, and I think just making that seem more like a reality for people, because I just think people don't think this is on campus. A lot of people just don't think this is a livable city for them, right? And I'm a lot of people get jobs in bigger cities, whatnot, but to maybe the one or two people that think this could be a possibility, and like there's cool things, there's cool community, and showing that to them.
And it's just gonna grow with Outside.ND, with the stuff Meech is doing, with homegrown hype stuff, the stuff Rocky Button does. It's just like people are actually opening up their eyes and ears to stuff they wouldn't have thought about 6 months ago, a year ago. And it's cool to see.
And what I really appreciate is just like how welcoming people are to me and, you know, other affiliated Outside.ND people.
As it should be. And it's not like that. It's kind of divided in the city. Like, you do one thing, another person does the same thing, and it's kind of like a line drawn where it's like, okay, I love it, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
And it's not bad, but it's like people just need to come together more when it comes to it. It's like everybody can eat. Everybody can have their own lane. A lot of people can be in the same category and still do just as great without the hate. The shade being thrown. So that's how I look at it for sure.
Definitely. So I think just like future, back to your questions, like it's only looking up, and I think
I see it.
Again, referring back to Outside AF, our event with heatcheck, it's just like that was a proof of concept, and there was just so much demand for it. So like.
And it was executed so well. It was like it probably turned out like more than your expectations, huh?
Oh my God, I was just like, I was telling my roommates, I was like, if nobody comes, we're just having a party for ourselves.
There we go. That's cool. It just branches open new opportunities for people, you know. So I appreciate that from you guys for sure.
I think just moving forward is just like people want to see more of this, and we're here to provide and, you know, make South Bend more accessible and help bridge South Bend, Notre Dame, and do that again through events and just exploring and building new relationships with creators and people who care about South Bend, because there's such a big crowd that care about South Bend, and I've because of them I've learned to.
You gotta roll with those people. You know, keep rolling with them. On this show, as always, we like to give flowers before you go on, for sure. Show appreciation, show support, and it's much appreciated for this to be the first type of interview from, you know, this type of category. Where you not only showcase how you guys maneuver, but it's more than just you. It's a community. It's the people that come to your events, the people that might follow you on Instagram, the people that might, you know, just show love out of nowhere. So that's what it's really about, like just taking care of other people as well as yourself. So
no, for sure. It's funny because you say that, because every time I refer to Outside.ND, I often like say we.
It's a we thing.
It's
for
a
sure.
we thing.
Absolutely.
Because like I may run it, I may do the posts, but it's like, honestly, it's not about me. I'm not here to like try to promote it and gain a following so I could like make money in some form. Like, no, that's not what I'm about.
It's a very selfless thing I can see from all of you guys. So it's like anybody involved, it's just like it's about you, but it's also about everyone else.
We just care about South Bend.
There it is.
And we care about, you know, Notre Dame, our friends and people at Notre Dame, just like appreciating the community they choose for 4 years, because Notre Dame is not just the community they choose, they also choose South Bend with their choice to go here.
As always too, like, you know, shout out to plug in your social, where they can find you, where they can find more about Outside.ND if they don't know about you, you know, stuff like that. So wherever you can be found.
So at Outside.ND on Instagram. We're hoping to expand our platform a little bit more. But like that's right now we're just on Instagram.
I'm on Facebook. I
and TikTok.
Stuff like
we have TikTok.
I gotta follow TikTok, so TikTok as well. I didn't know you had a TikTok. Let's do that. Let's do it.
TikTok, and you know, hopefully more
same
things.
handle, Outside.ND.
Outside.ND, and hopefully we could get a website going. We're a work in progress, always trying to improve.
I heard you were talking about like getting an app or like something like that, where it's like it's expanding. I see the ideas, and I see like the longevity that's gonna bring. So shout out to that. Shout out to, like I said, Outside.ND. Once again, Bruce Leroy Bar Report, episode 26. Y'all like that?
I still got that ace. You know I always got the hot shit. Going like an auction. Smoking on it, I was blowing on it. Got the floating on it and forgot shit. When Smokey said it, I was coughing. Puff pack.